who sounds suspiciously like a character of Mike Myers' James Bond spoof, but that's not the case. We're still left, I think, based on your testimony, with the conclusion that we're not quite sure what was the decisive precipitating cause. There were several factors, and I'll give you a chance to comment about that. But it strikes me, too, that one thing's clear. We have highly interrelated markets, and we have different rules in those markets. Some of these rules, I presume, were crafted with awareness of other rules, but perhaps not consciously and deliberately complemented or syncopated or whatever the word is. And that part of the effort here is to begin to harmonize rules and ask tough questions about whether that harmonization means to make them all the same, which could exacerbate a crisis, or at least make them responsive to and reflective of the other rules. So with that long sort of introduction, the basic first question is, comment about the sort of the status of what do we know and what don't we know about May 6th, and also about the need for a much more coordinated structure of rules. Mr. Ketchum first. We'll go right down the line.
Thank you, Chairman Reed. And I think your points are well made. I would agree with a great deal of what Chairman Gensler said earlier. We do know a great deal about what happened on that day at this point. While we're cautious without fully understanding all of the underlying activity of customers behind it before characterizing everything, a few things seem pretty clear, and you categorized it fairly well. This was not the result of one single program. It was a result of large numbers of programs that operate very similar together. It was a result of real selling activity with respect to real things happening in the marketplace, but the response of the concentrated selling activity and the speed in which liquidity can disappear from the market is close to absolute. And that is combined with an environment now, as you discussed in earlier panels, discussed in the opening statements, where there aren't consistent market maker obligations across markets at this point, and without that, where there isn't an ability for participants to be able to pause and reinsert buying activity. That all is simply unacceptable. First step, the pauses are important, and they need to move beyond the S&P 500 once they're appropriately crafted, TTFs and other securities. That will allow for the ability for algorithms and people to understand and be able to reinsert buying activity. It's not that it'll miraculously appear, but computers are designed when they don't understand something to withdraw. You need enough time to determine that the world actually hasn't ended and that there are reasons to continue to buy stocks. That needs to be combined with consistency across each market and stocks and futures. You're right, that's not always identical things, but with respect to areas like pauses and circuit breakers, they should be absolutely consistent.